What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming. Bringing you, we're going to mix it up today. You see that? This is a review for Chucky. We're going to start it off. Chucky, the TV series, episode 1 called Death by Misadventure. So, before we get into, I got to give y'all a synopsis. The synopsis read for this episode is: when teen Jake Wheeler buys a vintage doll at a yard sale, his young life changes forever. So, this episode, I don't know about I can't really say for the majority of this. I'm assuming, but I hate to assume. But for at least for this episode, the episode is directed and written by series creator, the creator of the Chucky movies and of the original Chucky movies, going from Child's Play up to Cult of Chucky, and including the TV series, Don Mancini. I think that's how you say his last name, Mancini. I know episode 2 is written by him, but it doesn't say if episode 2 is also directed by him, but he did write episode 2. I put that in there because this man is if you want somebody to do a Chucky movie, why not keep it with the original director and writer of the Chucky movies, right? And he does not disappoint with this episode. This episode is one hell of a way to start off a TV series. Now, I had my skepticism about the Chucky TV series, but after watching this episode, bro, this episode is good. We start off the episode with also too. Before I get to that, there's a link in the description below. If you want to watch the episode, YouTube has it on for free. You could go to either to USA Network's YouTube channel, or you could hit this link down below, and it will take you to. You can watch the actual whole first episode on YouTube. But yeah, so we start off the episode with a kid or something. It's something akin to a child in height. It looked like he got something over his head. Like he might have some type of mask or something. But then again, it's like is this a kid? Could we hear the usual sound bite of the Chucky doll's footsteps, running, and we hear the usual breathing that sound like Charles Lee Ray when he's in his Chucky mode stalking somebody. We hear that little tap 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 tap, the little toy tapping of the feet, and we see him sneaking up on a woman, and she's just brushing her hair in the mirror, so lovely. She just brushing it. She's flawless, and then she hears something. And she turns around and goes, huh? And then we cut to which I guess we cut to the next scene is what the best way to put it. We cut to the next scene, and the next scene shows like directly after you see Chucky open his eyes, and it's like the actual Chucky doll, and you see that we at some type of yard sale. And this is where we meet our one of the main characters of the show. His name is Jake Wheeler. Jake Wheeler is at the yard sale. It looked like he's looking for something particular, and what you find out a little bit after this scene, you find out that Jake spots Chucky, and he's like, you know what? I want to buy this because for some odd reason, a kid wants to buy a good guy doll. And at first, you going into this, you don't know why he's going to buy Chucky. Maybe he knows that Chucky's a good guy doll, and he wants to collect it for some reason. You don't know, but he bargains with the lady at the yard sale. She doesn't really know who Chucky belonged to in that yard sale, but she pretty much like, it probably was my daughter's. And then he basically said, well, she says it's $20, and he was like. He said $20, he kind of looking at the doll. Then he bartered with it. Then he explained his curiosity with the doll, and why he said if he a collector. He said he collect. She said something about him being vintage, and he's like, I collect retro. And she understands retro and vintage is pretty much the same thing. And she asked him, you know, what's the difference? And he said, the difference is $10. And she laughed it all because that was clever. And he was like, and so she said, okay, $10. She takes $10 for Chucky. But then classic Don, we get like a little call back to one of I want to say the first movie. Now remember, this like for the people who don't know, this is a part of the original Chucky franchise. I just want to throw this out here before I forget myself. The original Chucky movies are older than me. I'm 31 years old. The original Chucky movies came out in 1988. We wouldn't get Child's Play 2 until the year of 1990, the year I was born. So this whole series is older than me. I just want to point that out there in case people are like, wait a minute, is this, people who don't know be like, is this a sequel to the reboot movie that came out, or whatnot? No, this series is a sequel to the original. This is a part of the original series. Like I think I said that earlier, but this is a direct sequel to Cult of Chucky. Meaning this sequel is the next adventure. This is what happens after Cult of Chucky and the other new Bride and Child's Play 1 and 2. This is the newest adventure. This is not like this doesn't take place like in between a movie or before a certain movie. This is actually after the first couple of Child's Play, the Bride of Chucky, all that. This is his next adventure, or misadventure, however you look at it. But yeah, so we introduced to Hackensack. I think that's the name of the town, Hackensack. I want to say it's in Chicago because the movies were based in Chicago, and I think Charles Lee Ray is like a Chicago native. So I'm going to take a wild guess here that Hackensack is somewhere in Chicago, but the importance of Hackensack is that this is the hometown of Charles Lee Ray. This is where he was born and raised in. So I want you to keep that in mind because that plays into a scene I already talked about. But yeah, we found this out through exposition due to a local middle schooler, just like Jake, who has a podcast, and he, through exposition, he explains that what's so significant and what's so what Hackensack is famous for, and Hackensack is famous for the brutal murders of the Ray parents, specifically Charles Lee Ray's mother and father. That left Charles Lee Ray an orphan. You see that when the boy mentions Charles Lee Ray's name, we see different photos of him. Like we see photos brought back from the first Child's Play movie, the Child's Play 1 and 2. That we had then we got a photo of him from one of the newer Chucky movies when they went back in time to try to show us younger Charles Lee Ray. Charles Lee Ray is once again voiced by Brad Dourif. That's me clapping because we got the original Chucky voice actor back. Or the person who actually played the human Charles Lee Ray too. He played Brad Dourif also. If you don't know, if you want to know what Charles Lee Ray looked like, go back and watch the first one. Besides like maybe flashbacks in the later movies or in the newer movies too. This is like the first one is like the first time you actually see him before he dies. So yes, Charles Lee Ray was a person who basically in the first movie got shot and killed and transferred his soul and since he was shot and killed by police, where he wasn't killed, he was shot, fatally wounded. So with his last of his energy, he used some voodoo magic to transfer his soul into the good guy doll. Which brings us back to the story at hand. Jake basically brings the good guy down home, and all types of stuff start happening. We get So we get the cat mess basically like you know how cats just be curious about things. So the cat is over there basically look just a little light pawing at Chucky, nibbling on him, just trying to see what's up with Chucky. And you see Chucky's eyes just like they just get wide because Chucky he likes to kill things, and and the dog was messing with him, so he kind of like you don't see it, but it's like it's the classic Don move where just like in the beginning of the first movie, that stuff was happening and you didn't really see him do it, but he was doing it, but you didn't see him doing it. It was just like every time something happened, they show Chucky, he just in there, smiling, but he did something. So this episode is heavily Child's Play 1 influence, and like I said, if you if you don't understand what I mean, what I'm trying to say is like the tone and vibe of the episode is very reminiscent to the first actual movie in the series of Chucky or Child Play movies, which is Child Play 1. And if you go watch that and come back and watch this episode, you'll understand the tone and vibe of this movie is very reminiscent to that movie. Don does a lot of callbacks to that movie. A lot of things that Chucky does is pretty much is a somewhat a callback to the first movie. They might have threw some Child's Play 2 and 3 and stuff in there, but eventually, they have this dinner with his brother. His Jake's father is played by I want to say his name is Sean. Is the if I'm not mistaken. Where is his name at? I'll tell you guys right in a minute. It's no, that's his name is Shaw, but his name is Devon, which is, if you don't know, he's best known for playing Alex Brownie in the first Final Destination movie, and he's also been in the TV show Nikita. I haven't really been following his. He's also famous for that movie. I can't remember the name of it, but the movie where his hand was possessed and he had to pretty much cut it off. That movie too. But yeah, so we also get a lot of most of the cast is new in this episode that you meet are new, but eventually the cast is going to start getting filled by returning cast members like Fiona Dell, who played Nika Pierce. Jennifer Tilly will return eventually in these shows as Tiffany Valentine. We will get Alex Vincent back as Andy Barclay, and we also got Christine Els. I think that's how you say her last name as Kyle or Kyle. Andy's adopted sister from Child's Play 2. So eventually, you'll start seeing a mixture of old and new cast members play together. But so this dinner this dinner is horrible. Like they is with Jake's father's brother, who it turns out is a twin. So Devon he gets to play two different characters. He gets to play Jake's father and then Jake's uncle, and he does a great job of playing two different characters. One is very rich and successful, and one got his own business, but he's not so successful, and he's kind of a drunk and a douche. So the dinner was kind of going somewhat okay until Jake's father's brother. I forgot what his father Logan. Yeah, okay. His Logan, Jake's father, was asked by his brother, did he need some help? He could send him a car, he could send some work his way, and I think like his brother knew somebody that had a fender bender, and he's like, you know what, we don't really do that at my job at all. We don't at my, garage. We don't do fender benders. So it's very noticeable. Jake has, not Jake, but Logan has a drinking problem. So this dinner goes basically down the crapper when Jake with Logan's brother, his wife, and his, nephew, or his brother's son, they kind of contradictory, and I want to say they kind of come on as buttholes. So like it was kind of like everything they kind of say was like backhanded and stuff to him. So that kind of made the dinner goes down very quickly. Um, it got out of control. It got to the point where Jake's cousin uh, is basically teasing him about a certain thing, a certain woke thing to be teased about. But that's part of the overarching thing. Like that's what they was going for. Apparently, was that they wanted Chucky in this new environment, working with in this new environment with kids who are dealing with what most coming of age children does and go through in middle school and high school. Their identities in a specific way. I'm trying to get hint to, and and other things. But he's teasing Jake about this particular thing because Jake collects dolls, and we find out he collects dolls because he's building he want to be like an inspiring artist, especially a sculptor type artist. Because his mother was like one. We find out later on in the episode his mother died in a car accident. So he pretty much trying to take up his mother's mantle, and it doesn't go so well, especially after the cousins teasing and Logan's brother and wife pretty much not teasing but making the situation worse, which pisses off Logan to the point where he like drops a glass and breaks it. And he's like, "Can we just get past that already? Just leave it alone." And they like, well, And so then, the wife goes to excuse herself. A secret is revealed in front of Chucky, and then Logan, pretty much in his drunken rage, goes crazy and breaks with a baseball bat Jake's sculpture, which caused him. And he realized that the only thing that survived, because his dad like, no more dolls at all. I don't want to see them. You get rid of all of them, and of course, the only thing that survives is Chucky. So then, fast forward, we get to school. You get to meet some classmates, and we get to see that everybody except for one is pretty much a butthole to him. Well, except for two. The main one is Logan's cousin's girlfriend. She's like Jake's main bully. I want to say his name is Junior. Yeah, Jake's cousin's name is Junior. His girlfriend is named Lexi. Lexi is Jake's main tormentor throughout this episode, but she gets her comeuppance. She basically torments him about having the doll, and she made like a GoFundMe account to bully him. But then she referred to the bullying at this talent show. The talent show scene is the best scene in this whole episode. That's like by far the best scene. We get a familiar voice, and she greets everybody. I guess she's like the host of the talent show. But then she sees Jake, and she uses the opportunity to embarrass him, trying to embarrass him for a particular reason in front of the whole entire auditorium of people, until you hear a familiar Lexi. Hey Lexi, why don't you pick on somebody your own size? And the camera, then you see Jake. Oh, he's like, what the? And they all turn. You hear Lexi like, who's that? And they turn and see it's Chucky. And he does it like Jake goes pick up Chucky. You hear Chucky whisper something to him, so he plays along whatever Chucky did. The gist of it is basically play along with what I'm about to do, and nobody's gonna get hurt. There's some cuss words in there. You really don't hear it, but you can tell they whisper it in the Chucky faster, so you can hear him kind of whisper like a cuss word, and you can whisper "dude, I say." And the talent show scene is like the best scene. What Chucky does to Lexi and how he took over that scene was very good. And so then the rest of the movie goes as you think it would. There's misadventures. There's a death, technically two, but one of them may have been an animal. But there's definitely two deaths in the episode, and I'm trying to figure out. Oh yeah, the ending of the episode is a payoff to the beginning of the episode, but it shows something about the beginning of that we didn't really see. So in the end, after watching this first episode, I would give this first episode a big 10 out of 10 big ups because I enjoyed it. It made me laugh. Chucky is known to have some comedy in it, and they balance the comedy when it's needed, and then they balance the horror and the thriller parts when it's needed. So overall, I couldn't say nothing more about it. You want to watch the episode? Like I said, a link is in the description down below, so you can watch the full first episode on YouTube on the USA Network's YouTube channel. But if you enjoyed this review, then hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. And if you enjoyed this review so much you want to support the channel, then hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the tribe, become a tribe member, like so many people has done, and hit that notification button so you get notified when I drop videos. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go nowhere. I got a review for I don't know what that was, sorry. I was trying to help myself remember. For Stargirl, Supergirl coming up next. Peace. Enjoy some Charles Lee Ray Chucky like fun.